Hi, welcome back. Certainly glad you could join me today. You ready to do a fantastic little painting? Let's start out and have run all the colors across the screen that you need to paint along with me. And let me tell you what I've already done up here. I have my standard old canvas up here, and I've covered it with a piece of contact paper with an oval cut out of the center. Now then I've painted that with black gesso. Onto the black gesso, you just caught me in the act here, I was adding a mixture of alizarin crimson and phthalo blue. In the center here I have more crimson, and as it works out then I've added progressively more blue so that it gets darker toward the outside edges. And I thought today we'd do a little scene that's very similar to one I did in the last series. I had so many people write and they were so crazy about that little scene. I thought I'd do another one to show you how you could just change it a little bit and vary it. Use the same idea to do another picture, and I hope you enjoy this one. Okay, as I say, I've already covered it with a mixture of alizarin crimson and phthalo blue. And all you're looking for when you do this is just a nice, thin, even coat. You don't want big gobs of paint on here, just enough to cover the canvas. As we've mentioned before, if you're going to paint for family or friends, this is one of the neatest ideas because you can do this without your family or friends knowing that you've put color on here already. This is a transparent color, so it still looks black. And then, tell you what, we'll do it. But when you start adding other colors on there, son of a gun, it just comes alive like, oh, it's like magic happening. Okay, we'll clean our brush, beat it dry, then we're in business. I'm going to dip this brush right into a touch of the liquid white. Now let's go right up in here, and you have to make a decision right off in this painting. Where's our light source going to be? I think it's going to be slightly off center, right about here. So I'm just going to start with little crisscross strokes, and look how that comes alive. Oh, it just absolutely, it shines beautiful. Start in the lightest area and work outward. Always working outward. There. All the way out to the edges. Now try not to bring that dirty brush back into the center over here, because if you do, you're going to lose that beautiful, pure, bright color. Now you can make this any degree of lightness that you desire. You can go over it and do it several times, and each time it'll get a little bit lighter. But each time you do it, clean your brush. Be sure it's good and dry. And we'll take just a small amount more of the liquid white, go right back into this light area, and blend outward. And you can make this so bright it'll almost hurt your eyes. Just depends on what you're looking for. About like so. Just blend it all together so it's very, very smooth. Now lightly, just go across the entire sky. This will remove all the brush strokes, bring everything together. All right. Okay, let me clean the brush one more time. That's the highlight of this painting, it's just cleaning the brush. There we go. And we're in business one more time. Now this is a mixture that I was coating the canvas with, and it's just alizarin crimson and phthalo blue. And we'll just add some right onto the brush. Now, initially, I'm going to start in the center, so I want much more crimson than blue. I want this to be to the reddish side. Tap a little bit into the bristles, and let's go right up here. Now we have to start making some more big decisions. Where does our little bushes and trees live here? Just wherever you want them. I'm going to start at the base down here and work upward. That way our darkest color will be here, and it should get progressively lighter as we move upward into these little trees and bushes. I want them to just barely stand out there. Very quiet, soft, subdued, peaceful. This is a very peaceful little painting. Tranquil, whatever you want to call it. Now then, start working backwards and letting them overlap. But I've added a little bit more of the darker color so that it stands out. And here's a big old tree that lives right there, wherever you want them. See, just sort of think about the individual limbs and the shapes and drop them in. Over here, I've got one. Maybe he lives right there. Okay. Once again, I'm getting a little darker, continually adding more of the bluish color. So as I work away from the center, from the light area, it gets darker, darker, and darker. There. Maybe there's one more in here. We don't know. We really don't know where they're at. All we're doing is just tapping this color. Now it's predominantly to the blue side. But let the brush sort of slide. Give it a little tap, right? Okay, now then. Let's go right up in here. Maybe there's a big tree that hangs right over here. Just sort of let your imagination go here. There. Okay, we can wash this old brush one more time. Shake it off. And just beat the devil out of it. That's probably the highlight of painting. Just cleaning that brush. You can take out all your hostilities and frustrations, and if you're not careful, you can redecorate your living room in a heartbeat. I've taken paint thinner on the liner brush. I want this to be thin like ink. Very, very thin. Turn that brush, and that'll bring it to a nice sharp point. Liner brush has very long bristles, so it holds a lot of paint. Now we can go up in here, and let's begin putting the indication here and there of all kinds of little trees and happy little things that live up in here. Wherever you think they should live. See, just little sticks and twigs. This is where all the little squirrels and the bunny rabbits play. They have a good time. Good time. I think I mentioned I have a little squirrel that lives with me. And boy, he's something else. He lives like a king. He's got a big, tall cage, and we call it Squirrel Hilton. Eats better than I do. I spend all my money feeding creatures. There's one. Okay, right out through here. Over through there, wherever you want them. But see how they just keep, by adding them, it creates more and more depth and distance into your painting. There. And the same here. As you work out, let them get darker and darker. Get more into the bluish color. Let that one come right on down like that. There's his little arm. Gotta have a place up here for all the little birds to sit. That's what all these little tree limbs are for. They're just little seats for the birds. In the last series we showed the little blue jay that I was raising. And he's grown up now, and he's taken off. He's living good now. He's got a little condo in Miami. Stays there during the winter. 2 kids, house payments, BMW. Things are going well for him. No, that's not true. That's not true. Just made that up. We did turn him loose, though, and he's living close to Muncie, Indiana. And he's having a good time. Hope he does have a family by now. And maybe now he's got a bunch of little birds to feed, and he knows how much trouble it is. See, there's a whole mess of limbs right in there. That really looks like it's a big bunch of sticks. There we are. And in your world, you decide how many little tree limbs, or how few, how many, whatever, and you just drop them in. There's freedom on this canvas. You can do anything that you like here. Anything that you like. And you can create any kind of world that you want. There we go. There's enough old bad stuff going on in the world here. We make it very peaceful and nice. Let me get a 1-inch brush. I want to put the indication of a little highlight here and there, but I don't want much. If you put too much, we're going to lose that misty far away effect that we have there, so I don't want much. I'm going to take some titanium white, and I'll just pull some off with a brush here. A little bit of this color that we had, just tap. As I say, I don't want a lot of paint on the bristles, just enough. We can go in here and here and there, put just the indication of some happy little leaves that are in there. Over in here, there's a few. There, see? Very subdued though. I don't want something that's bright and yelling at you. This is quiet and misty looking back in there. Now as we get away from that light area, I'll begin adding a little more of the color that had more of the blue in it. More of the phthalo blue in it. Okay, maybe some right over in there. There we go. All you're doing is tapping. Just tap. See, you can still see the tree branches and all the trunks and everything right through that paint. There we go. All kinds of little things living back here in the woods. This is where the little bunny rabbit hides. He's my friend. I like him. A little bit up in here. Don't overdo though. This starts working and it gets so nice. It's hard to stop. It's hard to stop. So just put a little in. Okay, a little bit more to the bluish color as we get farther away from the light source. There we go. All kinds of little things happening back here deep in the woods. There. And in your world, when you're painting, make up little stories. Think about all the little creatures that live back here and what they're doing. And, you know, they have cares just like we do. Shoot. They got problems. They're trying to chase one another around and everything. Make up happy little stories for them. And it helps put you in the mood to paint all kinds of little things. See, I see all types of places back here where it'd just be fantastic for the little creatures to hide. This almost looks like something out of a fairy tale. Okay, let's begin putting in some nice happy things right in the foreground. I want to add a little bit of that dark color to the brush. Just want to get some blue on here, so when I go down here to the yellow, we'll get some nice green colors, like crimson, lizard crimson, and phthalo blue. I'm looking for sort of an off green color, sort of a dirty green color. Just tap the bristles, tap them right into that paint. Load a lot of color. Now then, we have to make some big decisions here. Let's have some nice land area that comes right down like that. There it is. And darker, darker, darker as it goes back. Very dark back in here. But see, that's continually picking up that color that's already on the canvas. So the more you tap it, the darker and the softer it becomes. There we go. A little bit on the other side over here. Maybe right in there. What the heck? Wherever you want it. Just let it blend slowly back. Slowly, quietly. There. A little yellow ochre here and there, a little Indian yellow. Just sort of mix all those colors up. Every once in a while you put the least little touch of bright red with your color. Least little touch. Because if you have green, you add red to it, it turns a beautiful brown. And red, believe it or not, is your duller. It dulls down the color. There, a little sap green. Reach over here and grab a little sap green. I want to start getting darker as we get closer to the foreground. Darker, darker. Now see, if you ever want to make it really zing, like there's a little light shining through there, all you got to do is take the brush and go right into a little titanium white. Now watch when you hit right here. See that little bit of white? White sparkles. See the sunlight hitting right there? Maybe it zings right through there and bounces right along in here. But it's easy to overdo. It's easy to do too much. So use that effect sparingly. Save it for the good spots. Save it for the good spots. There. For that sunlight now, it's just ripping through there. Having a good time. There we are. Okay. Boy, it's a nice place to take your shoes off and just sort of run through there barefooted. I grew up in Florida. I didn't even wear shoes to school. Believe it or not, I was in about the 6th grade before I wore shoes to school. Because it was nice and warm and you didn't have to put on shoes. There we go. Okay, let's go over to the other side now. And we put some nice grassy little areas over here too. But just sort of think about the lay of the land here, how you want it to flow, the curves that you want in your land. Grab a little more of the sap green. Shape is quite important here. I want this to sort of look like it comes down on each side in a little valley-like. Tell you what, we'll put a little path in there. What the heck? That's a beautiful place to have a little path. Okay, maybe here and there. I'm going to brighten that a little bit. Put a little brighter spot, like there's a little light getting through on this side too. Don't want it all on the other side. A little bit's zinging right through there. But see how you can sparkle it? It's unbelievable what you can do. On this canvas you can do anything. Anything that your heart desires. Okay, I'm just going to wipe off the excess paint and sort of blend these edges right into nothing. Just want them to blend right in there. Like so. It goes right up into the edge of the woods. Okay. Let's have us a little path in there. Let me grab a fan brush. Now then, let's just go into Van Dyke Brown. Van Dyke Brown, a little dark sienna. Just mix them together on the brush. Mostly Van Dyke Brown though. A little bit of each. A lot of paint in the brush though. Okay. Now then, think about maybe there's a little path that's coming back through the woods and it sort of comes over the hill right here. There it is. There it is. You knew it was there. Just sort of scrub this back and forth. Think of the shape of the path. As it gets closer and closer to you, allow it to get bigger, wider, stronger, so that it looks like it's really coming at you. Much bigger toward the front. There. See there? There we go. And look at that. Already, it gives you the impression that it's sort of going back up over the hill there. And that's what we're looking for. I'm going to take a little bit of titanium white. Not much. Just put it on the same old dirty brush. A little titanium white. Okay. Now then, we'll go right up in here and just lightly, just graze it. Just graze it. That's all you're doing. Just enough to add a little touch of color here and there. Just graze it. Okay, I've got several fan brushes going. Let me grab another one here. With this one, I'll go right into some yellow. Grab some sap green. There it is. Yellow ochre, a little Indian yellow. Maybe even a touch of the bright red here and there. There. Now then, I want to bring some little grassy things right down onto the path. That helps push the path down into the painting. So it doesn't just sit up there all by itself. This way, it becomes part of the painting when you let a few little things hang over it. Just here and there. There we go. There we go. Look at that. Just create all kinds of beautiful little effects. Over here's like that. I think we're in business. Now then, maybe in our world here we have some nice big strong trees. So let's take a fan brush and we'll go right into, I've got number 3 fan brush right now, but whatever size you happen to have available. I just picked that up and I like it. Load it full of black, midnight black. A lot of color. Just both sides are full. Okay, now you have to make a big decision. Where does your tree live? I think maybe we have a tree right there. See, maybe he's got an arm. Well, let's make him a little fatter. Should make him stand out a little better. There he is. There he is. Now we'll give him an arm. Maybe there's an arm that lives right there. Zoom. Maybe on the other side over here we'll have another tree. Looks like a good spot. Just in your world, look at your painting and decide. Wherever you want a tree or a path or a stream. See, I'd make a beautiful stream through there too. Be easy to do. You could still change it to a stream even at this point. Okay, maybe there's an arm on this tree that lives right out from there, wherever. We'll give him another one there. Let's get crazy while we got that going. Maybe there's a big old tree lives over here. Big old tree. All right, he's had a hard life. We'll just let that old brush bend and look at that. See, don't be afraid to bend that brush. Okay, we'll give him a big arm that lives right here on the side. Maybe another one over here. And you just sort of make a decision. Put them wherever you want them. Here and there, let me get another brush. We'll take a little black, a little blue, mix them together. Maybe here and there, there's a bush or two. We'll put a little bush that lives right down here. Okay. Shoot, that's so much fun. Let's have one over here too. There's a nice bush. See, that'll sort of bring everything together. Then I'm going to dip my brush into liquid white just to thin the paint. And I'm going into cad yellow and sap green. Load a lot of color into the bristles. Okay, let's go up here. And let's make this little bush right here just sparkle. A lot of paint so he sparkles. Don't kill all that dark. Okay, liquid white, cad yellow, sap green. But there's a lot of paint on the brush, so all you have to do is barely touch. If you have to push hard, then you don't have enough paint, or the paint that you have on the brush is too thick. Remember our golden rule. Thin paint will stick to a thick paint. There we go. Now we can just take the knife and in here and there, scrape in the indication of a stick, a twig, and all those things. One over here. Okay, while we have the knife going, let's take some white, some bright red, a little dark sienna, put it all together, pull it out flat. Now, just cut us off a little roll of paint. Let's go up in here. Put the indication here and there of a little highlight on some of these little trees. Just where you think a light would zip through there and hit. Just a little highlight. Ooh, this old bent tree. Boy, he's had a rough life. Maybe when he was little, a big bear or something came along here and stepped on him. Put a little hurt in him. Really crooked him all up. He's all gnarly. See, all the little things on. Now we can take some blue and white, mostly blue though, very little white. I want this very dark, just to make the indication of a little reflected light. Right there. Okay, we'll go over here on the other side. And let's put a little touch right along here. Like so. A little bit right there, and there, wherever. A little bit of our blue. There we go. And I'm going back to my script liner brush. Dip it in the paint thinner. Right into a little bit of black. And let's just put in the indication here and there of a few little limbs and branches. Be sure your paint is very thin. If it's thin, it'll flow. If you have trouble making it flow, chances are your paint is too thick. Very, very thin. Now then, let's go over to this one. Don't want him left out. This is where if you have a little twitch in your hand, boy, that's good for making all these branches. That really pays off. You know, one of the questions I'm asked over and over is what we do with all these paintings that are left from the shows, because there's a lot of paintings. There's nearly 200 shows now. We donate these paintings to PBS stations around the country and to other charity organizations, but mostly the PBS stations, and they auction them off and they make a happy buck. So if you'd like to have one, get in touch with your station, let them know. Tell them to get one there, and when they have their auction, support them. Help them out. They need your help. There we go. I'm going to take a little crimson, a little of black. Let's just put the indication, the silhouette here and there of some little leaves out here. There we go. Like so. A little on this one. And we've about got a finished painting. This one will certainly give you some experience. And if you've never painted before, this is a good one for your first attempt. Now let's take this off and let you see what it looks like. Remove the contact paper and look at that son of a gun. We can take a little bit of red and we'll sign it. I really hope you've enjoyed this one. As I say, if you've never painted before, this is one that you can do in your first attempt. I thank you for joining me. I hope you enjoyed it. And from all of us here, happy painting and God bless.